I can't give them that. That's the problem. You know what I mean? How you doing, Abilene?
I'm doing well. How are you, Nino?
I'm doing all right. How's how have you been?
I've been okay. You know,
All right.
a
All
little better
right.
now.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
So, let me see. All right.
Just as a setting point, so we don't forget where we're
Mhm.
kind of at with our phone combo is. All right, the letter's up. Now, like, how long do you want to wait for a response? And what do you imagine this injunction should look like?
I think the injunction should formalize some of the points that we made in the letter and file for that injunction. Inherently, we have already taken the step necessary for impeachment, right?
Eh,
By making it an open letter, because by it being directly delivered to them, they have effectively received it, right?
okay.
We can ensure that as well by, you know, and by other means. But I think we need to start with an injunction, and that injunction should be taking the points and formalizing it. Yeah.
Okay.
The thing
So
is,
what
an
are-
injunction has never been done before, as
Well,
far
yeah,
as I'm aware. So
That's what I was
we're
gonna get into.
treading on new territory. So I'd say format it in the manner that you think is appropriate.
Which brings me exactly into, after based on what you said and my understanding, you want relief, right? An injunction's never been done, so we can use the we can use the word injunction a lot, but I think structuring it as a lawsuit with the only relief being
Oh,
reversed,
yes.
reversed it. We're not looking for financial relief. We're not looking for it's called it's a specific kind of relief. It's called like actionable relief. I forgot more than I know. You ever have that problem?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll
No,
figure
I know
out
exactly. You know where it is. You know where to look it up. It's just, it's not on the tip of your tongue. Trust me, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's a specific type of relief where someone has to they give someone's job back or something like that. Or equitable relief. So yeah, that would be that. We're not looking for money. We're just looking for the reversal of this legislation. And
It's not even legislation, but this statement, right? So let's chop it up, right? There is no legislation on how an election should be written or how an election should be done, which is crazy. There is no legislation on what it means to be a resident, and a state announcement in which a judge has now claimed, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna do this like fucking shit this way without any details, right? I would argue in many ways has effectively can be looked at as unintentional electioneering. Like, there's probably a better way to phrase this, but I don't think so. I strongly believe that announcement was to kill Pred's opportunity, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Pred has a similar constituency as I do. So by forcing people to only be able to vote for one of the two counties, which is what that does, it's not about residency. It's about preventing people from voting for both. They've killed Pred's opportunity, right? So that part is malicious. We can't prove that though, right?
right.
But what we can say is it's unintentional at minimum, that they have effectively said, hey, by the way, this undefined way by which you're going to be casting your vote makes you declare in one direction, has completely fucked people's ability to campaign.
Would it be considered negligent? Basically, making
Sure.
assumptions off of something that has no base foundation. Another thing I wanted to point out is Angel's not actually the Chief Justice, so like
Agreed.
she's just I don't know what it is.
She just
but,
pretends she is. Yes.
So the target of this, just the judiciary, DOJ, or her.
I think we go for the justices, just because she was the. Let them explain, right? Because we don't know how many people agreed to this.
Right. And there's no head person for the buck to fall on. That's the kind of what I wanted to say. So there's no Chief Justice to be like, all right, you know, you should have been overseeing this. We're gonna target you directly, and that's they're I don't know, Director of the Marshals, Shadow Chief Justice. It's a little weird.
Yeah. This actually kind of falls back on the idiosyncrasies of the FOIA and why Crane didn't want it and is like, we don't even get to know who made that decision. It's so stupid, right? Because if these guys actually weren't so fucking useless, which definitively they are, right? They would have, instead of doing this fucking Den Act and like fucking hanging out with Blaine County and just like stirring all the time, how about you just write a piece of legislation? Like in the last 3 months, why could you have not written legislation for elections and for residency? Remember when we pushed for it and we were told give the big middle finger? You remember that? So where the fuck are they pulling it out of their ass now? So let me roll back, right? Is, as noted in the letter, right, is the manner by which they are claiming this election should be done is asinine, because it is going to require the citizen to declare their residency in conjunction with their mayoral vote. But the residency bit needs to be public. But by making that public, you would simultaneously be putting out their manner by which they voted, right?
Okay, so you as the mayor, like, and I've seen this in the Constitution, you have full jurisdictional authority over your county. So
Yes.
what if on the side, apart from all this is great, we consider the idea of submitting our own legislation called something like electoral process for Los Santos County specifically. And in that, we detail nothing about...
We can't, because the Constitution gives the DOJ that authority.
Okay.
But the thing is, yeah, it's but it doesn't matter. We just want them. Our goal is to get them to reverse this because it's brain dead. And it should be very clear that this decision that they made makes me automatic mayor. You understand why, right? Because all the pro Nino are going to vote for me and all the fuck Nino are going to vote for Eve, right? So like,
Yeah.
let's take the Saints, for example. Right, they're gonna vote probably for Ledson or whatever. Or is Ledson? I don't whatever. But like all these like Blaine County, they're gonna vote for Eve, but they're not gonna vote for my competitor. I win in this. Eve wins in this, but that's not the point. The point is that you're declaring your residency. This is so fucking dumb. You declare your residency in conjunction with the mayoral vote. So that means that you have to that the mayors are going to need to get access to that information, and the police need to get access to that information. Citizens may need to get access to that information, because residency is a thing in our existing legislation, not just state legislation, also county legislations. Secondly, if that is the only mechanism by which you declare your residency, what about people that don't vote? You have the right to not vote. You're being forced to fucking vote in order to get your residency. And then what if you didn't vote? How do you declare it? Because now that there's declarations of residency, if you're undeclared, where does that put you?
It's a whole heap of issues,
It's so dumb. But for the kind of people that have been like fucking bitching and moaning about like how in depth our legislation is, these are the fucking reasons. Because if you like allow some of your fucking brain synapses to fire, you know, you realize, hey, you know what? We should be thinking about writing legislation in a holistic manner that covers basic, I don't know, use cases and loopholes, right?
It feels like they just made it in a panic almost.
Yes, that's their history. Look at the Den Act. Den Act was created like literally even just from the writing of it, it looked like it was just like shit out like an hour after like screaming at Peters. And it was so bad that Bailey, so you know what happened? Is like this Den Act came out and we're just like, what is this fucking dumb bullshit? In one moment, I was told I cannot that I'm responsible for the and this is the impeachment thing, is in charge of the fine slider. The next minute, I'm told that I cannot do it. Guess what the Fed said? That is my slider. So
Yeah.
because some bullshit was pulled out of the ass, instead of like, hey, let me think about this, right? Is there merit to this? No, it was on a whim, knee-jerk reaction, and then everyone else gets to pay the fucking price. And then it's just oopsie. No, fuck that shit. I'm not on that energy anymore. Fucking do your job. Do your fucking job. I'm sick of it, Abilene. I've been way too charitable the last 3 months. I don't got that energy anymore. I'm on that fuck you shit.
It's extremely stressful, Nino, and I'm not even mayor at all, and I feel the stress like second hand, and it's worn me down a lot.
I'm pretty one too, to be honest. Part of me is just like, let it all fucking bleed. You know what I mean?
But the ideas that we've came up now with this, I think it's good. And we're on the right track. I guess this is what's important right now. One step at a time. Because if you think about it, you really, apart from this situation here, you really sorted the whole city out with like everything else. Business, hunting, fishing, different processes for people to have the ability to do things. Like, so much stuff. Like right now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
The fight is with the DOJ for a reason.
Yeah. We're now in the civil rights era of the Nino Chavez campaign.
Yeah, that.
I had someone, yeah. I mean, I genuinely don't even know what other legislation to write at this point. Like, we've covered every base. I don't think there's an industry left. We solved materials. I was talking to Cloak, who's helping run MOPEC. Every shop is getting everything they need. The only advancement there is making sure we bolster materials. Like, bolster their security. But these are like minor things. You know what I mean?
Something in the vein of like how we bolstered security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have a bigger game plan, which I want to go down the path of, but I don't want to say it openly, because it's going to be very dastardly.
Yeah,
But
good idea.
I'm going to become a full constitutionalist. We're going to audit all the state legislation and fix it.
One thing I mentioned in an email was And they kind of put out an announcement about this. It's like, oh, now we've established the judge's hiring firing process, and that touched on and that was after I sent that email in the email chain.
Which one?
I don't know. It was just a no, their state announcement. Remember, it was like, now we have established the judicial onboarding and firing process in writing more. Remember the recent? I don't know if it's in the.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Here, I'll set you straight. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I gotta be tweeting. Remedy got me to put my you know, my fucking application in. I mean, because ultimately, like, let's say I'm just like, fuck this, I can just make Michael the, like, I can just make, I mean, we operate without me being around, so it's whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm specifically talking about that announcement right there. I sent you an email image of it.
Oh, I didn't see this till today.
Oh wow, that's huge, because that's them fucking backstepping, like preemptively. They somehow know about our plan, it feels like, and they made that announcement. And within that, it's like, oh, we've established in writing the judicial hiring and firing process. However, an email I sent before that announcement was put out was that us as Santos County's mayor's office should try to legislate something in writing of what establishes the chief justice, or at least try to, because there's no chief justice, and I think the current justices might be taking advantage of that gray area of where it has no one to fall on. Because when the buck has to fall on somebody in charge, like, that's when fuck shit stops happening. But that was my idea, establishing an official process for chief justice as an elected position. Yeah.
I think that is such a good idea.
And it would be an elected judge, of course. It wouldn't be like, oh, Kyle Pred can, you know, just hit him as an example because everyone throws his name around. But it would have to be a current judge, and the people elect who they want to be the chief justice. And then the buck stops there. There's no more gray area, creating all this stuff in the shadows, saying, well, it was a group effort, no one's to blame, et cetera, et cetera. And why don't we have a chief justice 3-4 months after the seat has been vacant?
I mean, I think because the justices operate like the Supreme Court.
I do believe there's still a senior seat.
Yeah, you might be right.
A tiebreaker sort of senior seat, I believe. But apart from them talking about putting the judicial hiring process in writing, that announcement was huge, because then it talks about anytime now there's changes from the DOJ standpoint, that all the justices need to put it to a majority vote if they want to change it. So what that would do is, if we fight the change that Angel made before this announcement, they would say, well, the process now is we need to bring your request to a majority vote to reverse it. So now it's twice as hard to reverse.
Oh, you're right. Okay,
Yes.
now I know what you mean.
Yes.
The legislation proposal and approval process has... Okay, I'm aware of this. I've been giving a lot of feedback. Let's just put it that way. So I see what you're saying. You're saying before there was room to just ad hoc do shit, and now the legislative proposal and approval process has been amended, requiring justices to have majority vote to change any of their written legislation. This means that a single justice may not make unilateral changes and must have a majority opinion. No, that's a good change. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think the way it is.
No, that's good. That's good, Nino. But it was done after Angel made all the ad hoc changes. So now, if trying to get it reversed will require.
That's good.
Okay.
You know why? You know how we're gonna do it? We're gonna just do a full fucking audit and reverse it back in the most, like, explain it like I'm 5 way possible. And we're gonna do audit season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I've got a good idea. Like as far as the
Let me. Are
injunction-
your eyes open?
Yes.
Can you? Are you able to close your ears?
1 second.
All right. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Spice season.
How you been going through this long, staying so strong? Like what vitamins do you take? That's crazy.
I haven't really. I've been genuinely on the fence because for me, like, I feel like I've accomplished everything, and a lot of people depend on me being mayor, and I don't want to let them down. But there is a bit of guilt where I feel like I'm occupying a seat, even though I've been assured by the powers that be that it's perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
Well,
I got
there's no
guilt
one.
out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I do got, you know what I'm saying? I might hide it, but I do get guilty about shit. I was even guilty about being mayor while having other responsibilities.
I would like suggest, advise, reserve that guilt when there's actually a candidate that is serious about trying as much as you do, because otherwise it's just people running for the seat itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true, but I think part of it is also like, I wonder how many people would have ran if I didn't. But then again, I guess it's kind of telling that no one else. Okay, actually, you know what? You're right, because no one else really did run.
No one else with any serious platform.
You know, I thought Barrick was gonna run. I wonder what happened.
Wasn't that Blaine, or maybe I guess
No,
that was-
I was told he was running for Los Santos County. It might have been a troll though.
People genuinely want you as mayor, is the short of it.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. We don't have anything to write, so we're just gonna fucking audit the entire state legislation. I think this is good because for Project 2030, I think having our legislation in a very solid position will be good.
Yeah.
I think we should get Ava to run for justice as well as Archibald.
Wait, I thought they have to. So you mean judge or
Judge, yeah. Judge. But
Yeah.
they wanted to. I was kind of holding them back. Let's fucking do it.
I thought I didn't. First of all, I didn't know Ava had a bar license. That's the only thing about that.
Ava used to be a judge.
Okay, but does
Yeah.
she have but the way they do it now, like
she does not.
yes, they're not gonna let her run for judge.
Oh, that's too shitty. She's
Yeah.
fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
If there was, honestly, I'm gonna be if it wasn't for Bailey, I think Ava Devereaux would actually make a fire justice.
Yeah, well, she should have nagged that bar. Like,
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, to her defense, I think she has been. I don't want to speak too much on her behalf, but I feel like she served her time as a judge, and there was a lot of responsibilities at the hospital. She was very often the only doctor on duty. So, my point being that I think, you know, a lot of the need has sort of come more recently, and but man, I think she would make a fire justice.
yeah.
Mostly because she's articulate, thoughtful, and you know, she can really break down her thought processes, which I think are absolutely vital for the position.
Yeah.
But
I considered running for judge, but I don't know
why not?
if I have the availability, the energy and availability for it.
Yeah, that's the tough one, you know. This position takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, and I mean, you can be articulate to high heaven, but if you're not showing up as a judge and doing stuff, like, it's pointless. And
yeah, that is true.
if I ran for the seat, I would have, I would have to feel the energy in me and like the power and the motivation to be able to go through at least a couple months. Like, I don't know if I have that right now. Maybe next season I will.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm kind of chilling, working for you right now. I'm getting a lot of good governmental experience in this city that I've never gotten before.
Yeah.
As sparse as it might be lately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been rough. Oh, first Temple here with a Polito pit stop. Nick Pickle has. Oh shit. Oh no, we have a Polito mechanic shop that wants access to MOPEC. Oh my god, poor fucking first. Even Polito needs us, Abilene.
I know, it's doing great things.
Oh my god.
Kyle Pred's on board with us, right? Like,
he's very much on board. I just don't think he's gonna beat Eve, especially with this.
Because imagine this: we get a mayor in Blaine that's on board with us. We could start drafting legislation.
I don't think I can legally,
like, signed off by both mayors. You know what I mean? And then all these good things can be for everyone.
Yeah. Oh my god. So first says, hi Nino, First Temple here with Polito pit stop. Nick Biggle got his license approved finally last night. He said we should be able to access the materials via MOPEC. Able to confirm a cloak is okay. As far as I know, the scope of MOPEC is strictly for Los Santos County. I would have loved to work with the previous mayor in finding a solution, but unfortunately, they never returned any of our calls or written letters. Having MOPEC, which is paid for by LSC, subsidize a business in Blaine County is something that isn't legal for us at this time. mayor of Blaine will actually do more than put on sorry about that. I'm just blasting an email out real quick. My phone is acting up. Can you call me when you can? Oh shit. I must have went to sleep. Please call me when free. All right. Sorry, Abilene. Give me just 1 second. I just got to fire all these emails off real quick. Or text messages. Let me, oh yeah, I need to send. Funding request, there it is. God damn it. Fucking click the link, dude. There it is. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm trying to get SK's music shit up and going. He's just hasn't, he's almost got his shit together, but he just needs like a table with like receipts, so like how many artists, tracks and shit like that. So I'm trying to help him along, like set up his document properly.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So going back to this, so you're thinking, you know, we file this thing and the injunction is a part of it, but not directly looking for an injunction. Oh, because the relief is rolling back on the announcement.
Well, yeah, we file it in lawsuit format and in the statement of claim.
Yeah.
That's where we articulate and use the language that, you know, this is injunctionary in nature, serve as an injunction, and our statement of claim is based on these changes were done in the midst of an active election with no legislative basis for any of, I don't know, the points or statutes listed within their state change, such as the ones you mentioned about people not voting. Number one. Another thing I mentioned to Michael was, let's say Kyle Pred is running for Blaine, but what if Kyle Pred votes for you, because you can be a citizen, right? And,
True.
And so what if he's then a citizen of Los Santos County who gets elected, you know, elected through his vote to you, and then gets elected to the mayor of Blaine County? He's not even a citizen of Blaine County.
Well, that's not a requirement, right? I think that's why the home run here is more in line with the arbitrariness of residency, the arbitrariness of the election, stipulations, unlegislated stipulations being introduced into the election process mid-election, right? And then highlighting the constitutional violations. Highlighting that it's being done without legislation, which would have allowed for legislative scrutiny to take place. And because it didn't do it, here are the list of constitutional violations that the DOJ is introducing.
And our current list of damages that's resulted from that. And damages is basically just logistical problems, things that have unnecessarily taken up time, caused confusion, and further taken up time. The fact that we had to take up time and draft, like, all the problems that we can list that it's caused just for.
Yep. I fuck with that.
I'll think of more when I get a pen to paper.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Yep. 100%. This is gonna be fun. I think the message, as with everything, the action is we've already win. You know what I mean? And I think when it comes to all the other things that I talked about, which I'm not going to say right now, I think that's what people need to see. And our aim should be the stabilization of San Andreas.
Yeah. The other big issue, you might be aware, is that filing this against the justices kind of conflicts everyone in the current judiciary, because the justices are the bosses of the judges.
That true and not true, because if they actually did a majority vote, they may not have had everyone weigh in. You get what I'm saying? If you have 5 justices, 3 weigh in, that's a majority, but 2 of them didn't abstain.
But for the thing that we're talking about, that majority vote stuff wasn't written until afterwards. It's yeah, so it's likely it was. Yeah.
I mean, in the words of Crane, I cannot be conflicted. I get what you're saying about the conflict thing, but it's one of those weird things because of how our system works. You know what I mean?
Theoretically here.
Yeah.
What justice do you imagine? Okay, I file it. Plaintiff us, defendants, justices of the DOJ. Okay, who's taking that case?
Booty.
Okay, that's just what I wanted to get out there.
There's also the Senate too, or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's entering into a space that I won't worry about, because there's magical justices and governments and things of power that I'm sure can resolve stuff. And while I think it's an interesting thought, it's one of those, we're in uncharted territory and we do what we think is appropriate, and then we see what the response looks like. Because, like, it's the same thing. Yeah. So, it's yeah. So.
It's the same thing as what?
Oh no, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, I was kind of thinking a lot. I think it's just one of those things that we do it, we try it, and then we kind of see where it goes. Yeah. So, and I think when it comes to the, the reviews we do, the auditing of state legislation, et cetera, like, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with that, is that we just do a better job with it. And then we say, here are proposed changes. We want to push this to referendum, but, or whatever.
Okay.
But anyways, all right, Abilene, I got to start cooking. I got to get out there and let people know I'm running.
All right, good meeting. I'm down with it.
Yep.
I'll be in touch via email. Okay?
Have you felt like you've been crouching a lot more lately? I don't know what the fuck it is with me.
Not too much. Only sometimes when I sit in my apartment and play Call of Duty and I realize, oh.
Wait, really?
I'm not, yeah.
All right.
All right, Nino.
All right. You take care.